All right, so the very first step for all 3 of these cards is we're going to emboss the background piece. Now I'm going to do them for all 3 because we're using some 3D embossing folders, and there's so much detail in these folders that the best way to get a lot of that showing is to mist your paper with a mister bottle just a couple times, just to moisten the fibers in the paper, and then emboss it and then let it sit to dry. So we want to make sure to give it enough time so that those pieces can dry completely before we continue on to create our cards. So I've got my Bigshot here, I've got my multi-purpose platform. I'm going to open the top tab. I'm only using 1 plate. And we'll start with the brick folder. And I have 3 folders here that I've chosen for these cards. It could be any folder of your choice, or you could use flat, just flat paper and not emboss it. So I'm just going to mist it. And then put it in the folder, and especially for this one, I like to make sure that my paper is straight, because otherwise the bricks are going to be a little bit crooked once it's embossed. And I'm going to put it through my machine. I have to lift that section up just because otherwise it's going to hit something on my desk. And then I move it back. Put it through a couple times just so that it really presses the paper into that folder. So there we go. Look at how much detail comes out of that. So I'm going to set that aside to dry. And I'm going to do my next one, which is the weave one. I think it's called weave. I don't know what it's actually called, but reminds me of a weave of a basket. So mist the paper. This one I don't have to be quite as careful about it being straight just because of the pattern. I'm going to put it through again. This is moving because of the mat that's on my desk here. Oops. Another gorgeous emboss. And you'll see there's some parts that have ripped when it's embossed because there's so much texture to them. I just leave it. I don't worry about it. I don't really notice it actually once it's on the card. And if it was a real basket, there would be those holes there anyway. So I think it looks a little bit more realistic that way. So last one I'm going to do is this wood one. There's my water there. I'm going to make sure that this one is straight as well, because those planks of wood have lines in it and you would be able to see if it was crooked. So one last time, and there we go. So this one doesn't have quite as much dimension as the other 2, but still beautiful patterns. And for these cards I did them white because I didn't want them to interfere with the designs of the die cuts on the card. I wanted those to be the focus. So that's why I kept the backgrounds white and fairly neutral. So I'll see you in the next video, and we're going to do the embossing for the sentiments for the cards.